I had a dream last night, and it was very stressful, and it was very vivid, and I'll probably write about it. I kind of wanted to rant about it um, through Facebook as a status, but it probably wouldn't have gone over well. Um, so I'm going to rant about it um, on video. So basically, it was reminding me of how, because I'm not going to explain the dream because it involved, yeah. But what it was about is my feeling of how mental illness is perceived by others. Because I'm going through a lot of psychiatric issues and I've been trying to find help, but I haven't been able to get it. And there's promises, and then it's taken away. And it's been over a month since I was supposed to go into inpatient, and I'm still in psychiatric limbo. And it's very frustrating, and the way people are reacting to it from the outside, um, whether they realize it's perceived that way for me or not, and um, it's also really frustrating. So I notice I'm I'm not working right now. It's a struggle for me to kind of get through the day, and when I say stuff like that, but then people will see me outside running errands or doing some enjoyable activities. It's almost like they end up wondering, like, well, if she's so ill, then why is she going out and doing things? And that's the thing with being mentally ill. Like, I do hibernate, I seclude myself, I won't leave my room for days, even if it's to grab something from my car that's right outside. And I have things that I do, like I guess you would call them rituals that I do that I really feel like I have no control over. And they're psychotic episodes, and I do them like every night. And when I was, the more I do the during the day or anything that involves me being around other emotions or feeling extreme emotions, just stuff like that. It's hard to explain right now. Uh, it increases my chance of having um, the mood swings that I get, and they're very, very, very common. And like I can be triggered like really fast just from almost just like one small action. It will completely change my mindset, and it's just exhausting. And the more people I'm around and the types of people I'm around, um, it'll affect that. Like it'll influence that. And so when I go out and I do things that I'm enjoying with friends, it's a little easier for me, and I will purposely do activities that I know won't trigger as much, like smaller amounts of people. Going to the store is not something I enjoy. Like running the basic errands is um, very um, not traumatizing, but it's definitely something that takes me a couple days to recover from. Like I think about it. I'm like, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to do this because I live downtown around a lot of people. Um, it's just that's a whole separate thing about feeling like I'm taking up too much space and stuff like that, and being around so many different situations kind of is, yeah. When I do activities, like with family where I'm not as in control about what we're doing, that kind of freaks me out as well. And the more likely people are to get upset or like it'll kind of influence by um, mood swings. I guess that's what they're called, and it's just intense every time, and it's exhausting. And I react more inwardly, and so I absorb it all, And then when I'm by myself, I'll take it out on myself. And the more I've absorbed, the more I harm myself and the more intense my implosion are. A lot of times people do more of an explosion, sometimes more reacting right on the spot of when they kind of switch over to another extreme emotion. Um, and that's one of the other issues, is because people don't see that. They don't believe it. They don't see that when I'm having issues, I usually get really quiet and appear very calm. Um, I At work, I would usually, like, when we were able to kind of put on different playlists, I would put on choral music or classical music, and some of my closer coworkers would know that that's when I'm trying to kind of calm myself as much as I could, and they know to kind of um, let me have my space, and they were really understanding about it, and I felt really bad because the way I'm making it sound is like, oh, I need my space, like leave me alone, I'm not feeling good, but it's they kind of they understood that it was having to do with just yeah, sorry, especially dealing with the customer's energy all day. It's just like too much, which sounds pathetic, but that's just how it is. um, uh, so on the outside, when I'm dealing with a lot of turmoil, on the inside it won't appear that way at all. I'm a very anxious person, I'm a very upset person, I'm a very disturbed person, but I think people don't quite see that, and so they don't believe that, especially when they see me wandering around outside or doing activities. And then it's like, if you do that, can you do work? But it's they're totally different um, situations, and the way I react to them, and I can't control it, are very different, especially right now. Um, and I recently found out I was misdiagnosed with bipolar 2, and I should have been a little suspicious of that because I was diagnosed by my therapist after like 1.5 sessions, and that's a little shisty now that I think about it. But so I've had like nearly 10 years of misdiagnosis, and that, of course, like once I figured that out, I was infuriated. And that's the problem. Like, once something happens like that, then I'm just like mad. Like, I know that sounds not too intense, but it on the inside, it's like raging, and it's like a fire and an explosion, but I absorb it on the inside. So instead of reacting on the outside, it's all on the inside, and the words and the thoughts and the images of what I want to do is just very overwhelming, and they're not very pleasant for anyone, even myself. And then I will take it out on myself. So again, on the outside, people aren't seeing the explosion that usually happens to people who have the similar issues as I do. A lot of times I was reading up on people who, I don't know. I don't know. I was just talking to other people, and it's usually outwards. Like, people notice it, or because they will become more dramatic or more emotional, like on the spot, on the outside, and so people are seeing it. And then they usually, if they don't realize it's a mental illness, they just think they're overreacting. But a lot of times you can't control the emotions, and it's raw and it's real, and so it's just really frustrating. And in my dream, I was in situations where I was trying to explain what was going on, why I'm not doing this, why I'm not going to be accepted back after I'm done figuring myself out, because I'm trying to figure out stuff that I can't control, and I can't control the lack of help. And I'm trying. I'm in communication. I'm going to appointments. I'm trying my best to find out whatever I can do. Like, I'm like, well, while I'm waiting for this, I can do this, but I can't. A lot of it has to do with insurance and networks and just stuff like that. And what I really need is inpatient and or extensive outpatient. I'm gonna need to totally switch up my meds because I'm gonna need more of like the antipsychotics and antidepressants rather than the stuff that I am on. And when you're moving meds around, um, it it messes with your head. And if you have a lot of issues that you're dealing with, um, it's much safer to be doing that under supervision. And also, a lot of the things that I'm doing um, are probably not the best things for me to continue to do. Like, to me, they're like chilling with my best friend. Like, it's just a normal thing for me, and it's almost enjoyable during the because I'm like not really um, normal during they're psychotic episodes, whatever. That's what they are. That word just has a like it's just taboo. My cat's using the litter box. Um, so it was just really frustrating in my dream, and I couldn't reach out to anyone. Nobody was understanding. People were ganging up on me, not believing me, putting into my face the fact that they see me walking around and wearing makeup and I don't look sick. And that's the one of the most frustrating things is like, do you want me to walk around in my frumpy, like, I don't know, like I will sometimes if I'm just like going out and about, but um, a lot of times I'm going to wear my clothes and do my makeup. Like, I don't want people to perceive me. It's how I'm feeling on the inside, and I feel very nervous when I'm not looking like myself. And to me, when I'm dressed like in my normal clothes that are a little bit eccentric, and I have my makeup on, that's very normal for me. And what people might consider like fancy or just dressed up is just like my form of jeans and a t-shirt. When I don't have that, I feel naked and I feel nervous. And so, to me, doing that when I'm going out helps me. Um, when I'm doing outings because it makes me feel more like myself. Like, even taking my piercings out, I feel naked. If I don't have my rings on when I'm out, like I feel like I'm not protected and I can't control that, and I like to be in control. So that's very frustrating. So you have people who are almost they don't believe you, or they think you're being over dramatic and you're staying away because you're lazy, and it's a good way to get out of doing things, and like it's just so that you can just roll around in bed all day and then go and do activities. But it's not like that at all. It's I wish I wish that it would be like that, even though I wouldn't do that if I were capable of handling like life and work. I would be doing that. Like, I miss my coworkers, um, and I feel really guilty and really disgusting and horrible over the fact that I'm not really doing anything productive right now. Like, I'm doing art and I'm doing writing because I have more time, and that doesn't mean that because I'm able to do those things that like I'd be able to function out there. It's just I'm less surrounded by things that might trigger me, and sometimes my own thoughts will trigger me, and I hate using that word because people have like turned it into some sarcastic word, but that's what it is. Like, just flipping the switch multiple times a day, really dramatic. I feel it, it's raw, and I can't control it, and it goes inwards, and then I end up with it's just not good. I make interesting artwork though out of questionable mediums though. Um, so get that out of it, I guess, but it's not entirely healthy. Although people have healthy ways of using that medium for their artwork, and I love it. And I might try to figure out how to do that because it might help me in the long run to not do it my way. I also have other intense rituals that I do, but I won't talk about them. I wrote about them in this like response that I'm writing to the last appointment I had with my psychiatrist over the phone right before I was referred to an inpatient center, which totally got all screwed up. Um, and in it, like, I just went through all these things, and then like reading that, and then I also wrote my response to that because they were just notes that she had typed down, and then I was responding to that. And that is what's going on every day, all the time, and most, like 90% of people won't be able to see that. So it's happening and it's in there, but it's invisible. And so it's just, I know I'm going in circles, but it's just really frustrating, and it makes me want to just tear apart the world that I can't. And that's dramatic, but it's just like, why can't you understand? And so I want to just absorb into myself and then just push it out. Or I feel like the image I have sometimes it's inspired by Clive Barker's Weave World, because at some point a character manifests through bones to speak, and it's really cool and beautiful. But because like that's the imagery I get, because I really like bones, and I like bones. I like dead things. Is if I'm standing over Earth, like over catacombs or anywhere where there's a lot of bones, and there are a lot of places where there's a lot of bones, I just want them to form together as this giant claw and just break out of the earth, surround me, grab me, and go back into the earth, and then have just the ground go back to normal. And I just will be absorbed and gone. And that's what I imagine. Just like that would be so peaceful. And it wouldn't, like, it would momentarily, like, things around it would get warped and people's cars would like fling everywhere, but then it will just whoop, go back together. So that's what I imagine. But a lot of times there is an intense rage going on inside me, and it's not healthy. The thoughts that I have, and the images that go through my head, and the never ending words and phrases that sometimes don't make sense, and the visual and the auditory, and it's just a lot. But no one's seeing it. No one's seeing it. Then they don't believe it. And it's really frustrating. And basically, my dream was reflecting the issues that I'm having right now with that, and dealing with how other people are perceiving me, because that's one of my problems. Is I'm always worried that I'm just horrible and disappointing and annoying and just frustrating everyone around me, and they don't believe me, and they think that I'm lazy, they think I'm being over dramatic, or they're wondering why I said that I'm taking time off, not doing anything though during that time. Like, I thought you were an inpatient, but then I don't have the energy, or sometimes I don't think they really need to know all of the details. I've told a couple people, but like, no, I'm not an inpatient, but I didn't lie. Like, I wish I were an inpatient right now. But so yes, I said I'm going to be leaving to do inpatient. Yes, I'm walking around town and I'm not inpatient. It doesn't have to do with anything other than the fact that nothing's working out the way it's supposed to. And that's not in my control right now. And so, no, I'm not an inpatient, but describing all the details leading up to explaining myself would take a while. And I also think that I shouldn't have to do that. Like, sit down and explain all of these personal issues, like, this is why, and this is why, and this is why, and this is why, and this is why. One thing, I'd probably get interrupted and brushed off before I'm finished. But I also feel like, what do they want to know? Should I just hand them the the notes that my psychiatrist took from that one phone call, along with my uh, notes that I made explaining behind just the minute details that I gave her over the phone, um, then, like, do you want to know? Okay, here, take this. And then they probably wouldn't want anything to do with me after that because. Mm. Um, so, yeah, I rambled, said the same things over and over again. Probably had a couple non sequiturs in there. Haven't been awake for a while, so I'm wearing my frumpy sweater and doing that angle where it's like just like, yeah. So yeah, I think instead of writing down the dream to like end up ruminating over and going back to and getting really angry and upset about, I would explain why I had that dream and why I'm so frustrated with how people are seeing me, how I'm seeing me, and how I can't get the help that I need. And I really need a lot of help. And I I don't have control over that. And I wish people understood that it's not, and it's not going to show on the outside as much. Like, I mean, my scars will, bruises will, like things that I would hide until they're healed will. Um, and occasionally, like, I'm obviously like scowling, but I internalize everything, and so nobody can see it, nobody believes it, but it's there and it's strong and it's destroying me, and it has been destroying me, and I just want to get treatment. Like, it's not going to go away, but I can figure out a way to manage it. But I need the inpatient, I need the psychotherapy, I need the help, and I need I need to get better. I need I need the help, and I can't get it. And while I'm waiting for it, there's things that I'm not able to do, and those things that I'm not able to do um, end up being seen as purposely avoiding having to do them. And that is not how it is at all. And when I think about how society as a whole views mental illness and the ways that it might manifest and the ways that people deal with it, and also the ways that some places try to treat it, where they just stick you in a holding room with a security guard outside and then shuffle you into another ward where you have like 20 minutes of group therapy a day, and then you're escorted back to your cot, and they call that like they're it's just frustrating because then people are like, well, just go to that place, just go to the hospital. But that's not, I need the full like support health. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. If you know about the different types of places and how you, it's usually traumatic being like, yeah, um, that's a whole separate thing. But so that's my long ramble about what my dreams last night um, were reflecting, and how frustrating it is. And I woke up furious and sad and disgusted, and um, I needed to get it out. And this was a more healthy way of doing that. Um, so, yeah. Um, I might go to my sister's house today in the evening because I'm totally lying about being like struggling. So if you see me wearing normal clothes and looking strangely presentable, it's totally because I'm lying and playing up my symptoms. So yeah. Sorry. I'm an asshole.